Hello students, welcome to the SPI online class of class 12 Political Science. In our previous class, we were discussing on chapter 2 End of Bipolarity. Today, we will resume our discussion with an important question. Why did the Soviet Union disintegrate? Really, it is a big question. How did the second most powerful country in the world suddenly disintegrate? There were various reasons behind it. Number one, shortage of consumer goods due to prolonged economic stagnation. Number two, internal weakness of Soviet political and economic institutions. Number three, ordinary citizens became more knowledgeable about the economic advance of the West. Number four, Soviet economy used much of its resources in maintaining nuclear and military developments. Number five, the party bureaucrats gained more privileges than ordinary citizens. Number six, Gorbachev's reformation failed because the members of the Communist Party itself were against the reform of Gorbachev. They felt that their power and privileges were eroding. So these were the main reasons behind the disintegration of Soviet Union. Except these reasons, some opines that the rise of nationalism and desire for sovereignty within various republics including Russia and Baltic republics, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania, Ukraine, Georgia and others proved to be the final and most immediate cause for the disintegration of the USSR. But here there are different views and controversies among some experts. Now come to the point, consequences of disintegration. Consequences means result. The collapse of the Second World of the Soviet Union and the socialist system in Eastern Europe had profound consequences for world politics. First of all, the end of Cold War confrontations. The ideological dispute over whether the socialist system would beat the capitalist system was not an issue anymore. Next, the US became the sole superpower. The US became the sole superpower. The US capitalism, the capitalist economy was now the dominant economic system internationally. Institutions like the World Bank and International Monetary Fund became powerful advisors to all these countries since they gave them loans for their transitions to the capitalism. Politically, notion of liberal democracy emerged as the best way to organize political life. The end of Soviet bloc meant the emergence of many new countries. All these countries had their own independent aspirations and choices. And number 5, rise of multipolarity era. Before it was bipolar. Then after the disintegration of Soviet Union, there was a rise of multipolarity era. Now our next topic is shock therapy. What is shock therapy? You know, shock means stress. Shock means stress. And therapy means treatment. At first there was stress, and then to get relief from stress there was treatment. So what is shock therapy? Here, the collapse of communism was followed by most of the countries in the Second World by a painful process of transition from an authoritarian socialist system to a democratic capitalist system. The model of transition in Russia, Central Asia, and East Europe that was influenced by the World Bank and International Monetary Fund came to be known as shock therapy. You know, after the Second World War, there emerged two superpowers, one US and the other USSR, you know, two superpower blocks. Whereas US believed in capitalism and USSR believed in socialism or communism. So the conflict in their ideology made people confused. People were confused. What system they would follow? They could not understand what the better system was. But after the disintegration of Soviet system, people clearly understood that socialism, which was adopted by USSR for long 70 years socialism, long 70 years, they became failure. While US following the capitalism became the supermost power in the world till now. So people of USSR who for long 70 years followed system had to change their economy. But it was too much painful process. So it was called shock therapy. Now, next point. Direction and features of shock therapy amongst the former Second World countries. Each of these countries was required to make total shift to a capitalist economy. At first they were in socialist economy or communist economy. Now they had to shift to a capitalist economy, which meant rooting out completely any structures evolved during the Soviet period. Second point, private ownership was to be dominant pattern of ownership of property. At first they were in state property. Now it was private ownership. Point number 3, collective forms were to be replaced by private farming and capitalism in agriculture. Number 4, free trade regime and foreign direct investment FDI were to be the main agencies of change. Number 5, the transition also involved a breakup of existing trade alliances among the countries of the Soviet bloc. Each state from this bloc was now linked directly to the West and not each other in the region. These states were thus to be gradually absorbed into the Western economic system. Now, our next topic is consequences of shock therapy. What was the result of shock therapy? About 90% of industries were sold to private individuals and companies at throwaway prices. That means list prices, which was called the largest garage sale in history. Most citizens sold their vouchers in the black market because they needed money. The result number 2, the value of ruble, that means the Russian currency, declined dramatically. Number 3, the rate of inflation was so high that people lost all their savings. Russian GDP, full form of GDP, gross domestic product, went down. Fall. 5. Government withdrew subsidies and social welfare was discarded, and this pushed larger public to poverty. People became poor and more poor. Number 6, mafia emerged and controlled economic activities. That means the power of economic control was fallen in the hand of mafia. Disparity between rich and poor increased. About half of Russia's 1,500 banks and other financial institutions went bankrupt. So there were lots of problems created. Though Russia started to revive in 2000, 10 years after their independence, by strengthening their economy, exporting natural resources like oil, natural gas, minerals, etc. So students, today's discussion is up to here. I think you understood. Okay, thank you.